Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing really well. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my second update for my year-long rolling style project 10 pan. I started this project at the very beginning of this year. I'm always going to be focusing on 10 items with various types of goals, and I am so excited to share with you the progress that I have made over this past month. I have worn makeup collectively 19 times since I last updated this project, which I don't think is too bad considering that February is a shorter month, and I did film my last update into February, and today is the very last day of the month, so let's recap what this past month has looked like for all 10 of my focus products. I will of course be sharing with you the usage stats on the screen for all of the focus products, but to keep things kind of shorter today, I just want to talk about some overarching kind of thoughts over the past month on each of these items and where things are at. So why don't we kick it off with the product that is just impossible to show progress on, and it seems to be never ending. This is the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops. This is just a little deluxe size sample in the shade Moonlight. I swear to you, this bottle seems to just be infinite. There's still product coming out of it, and unfortunately, I still cannot show you exactly where I'm at in the product. I have had it standing up for several days now. Today, I did use it on the tops of my collarbones and a little bit on the tops of my cheekbones, but I tried my best not to disturb anything or like kind of tilt the product or anything like that. The product just coats the exterior of the bottle and does not allow light to shine through. But I'm thinking I'm probably down around like this point here. I'm nearing the end most definitely, and I'm really hoping this will be completed for my next update. Maybe I should put a marking on. I'll do that right now. So I just put a marking on near the very bottom of the product, and I think that's the best guesstimate that I can give you as to where it is. Hopefully at the end of March, this will be an empty. I'm really hoping that will be the case. Next up is my Filmstar Bronze and Glow Duo from Charlotte Tilbury. I do consider this to be one product in the project. However, I am keeping tabs on how often I'm using both sides, and I want to monitor what the progress is looking like on both sides of this product. So it is a bronzer and a highlighter, and this one is in the fair to medium shade range. Things are, looking different, which is great. There's most definitely some progress that has happened since I introduced this into the project pan. I actually don't have an end goal with this one. My intention is to just keep it in the project as long as I'm feeling inspired by it and wanting to reach for it and make it a regular part of my routine. And so far, the momentum is really good. I've been using this very, very consistently and enjoying using both of these shades. I primarily use this highlighter to actually just set down my lids, and then occasionally I'll use it on the rest of the face, but more often it is just used strictly on the eyes. And then the bronzer I've just been loving on the eyes and on the face, and really enjoying the way that this looks with my more fair skin at this time of year. So this is the optimal time for me to be using this palette, as even though it's technically for fair to medium skin, I just don't think that it suits me after I get even just a tiny bit of tan. Once I become much more warm, this doesn't really look that flattering on my skin, nor does it have pigmentation that really provides much impact. And I tend to find that the highlighter looks really icy on me when I do have a tan. So this is the best time of year to be working on it, and I am enjoying making it a part of my regular everyday kind of routine. And then in tandem with that powder bronzer, I have been reaching for my favorite cream bronzer as well. It is the Milk Makeup Matte Bronzer, and this one is in the shade Baked. I've had this sticking around in my life for so long. I've never really been able to track progress on this product minus weight, so that is how I'm monitoring it for this project pan. So unfortunately, you can't really see how things have shaped up with this, but I decided to set myself a usage goal. So my usage goal is 100 uses, and while that seems steep, I really just want to ensure that I get really good use out of this before it expires, whether that be before the 100 uses or not. I just want to get a really good amount of usage on this product. And so far, I'm really enjoying it. I had previously reached for it 18 times in my last update, and I've reached for an additional 13 times, so not quite as good as my previous update, but I was wearing makeup significantly less this month. So that brings me up to 31 total uses on this so far. And just for a reference point, since my last update, I have gone down 0.38 grams also in this. So I think that is good. We're seeing progress happening. I'm definitely making it a priority product, and that feels really good to me. And I'm really hoping that I can reach that 100 uses before it expires. And then at that point, I may end up setting myself an additional 50 uses or something like that, because I truly do love the way that this product looks and performs on the skin. I just find it so easy to work with, and I really just don't want to waste it. I've been reaching for my number 7 Moisture Drench Lipstick in the shade Spiced Latte way more than I had in the first month, because I really wanted to make it a point to use it a minimum of 10 times. And today is actually my 11th use on this. I'm wearing it as a cream blush today, but there still is visible product up above the plastic packaging, which I'm just so surprised by. So yeah, this is moving very, very slowly, incredibly slowly, but regardless, I am enjoying it. It is such a beautiful warm tone. On the cheeks, it reads as very natural, very neutral. On the lips, it definitely creates more of a bold, impactful look, but I've been enjoying it so much at this time of year. It feels very cozy. The texture of it is so smoothing and balmy on the lips. And it's just a very comfortable kind of formulation to wear, but also a comfortable tone for me and my personal preferences. So my ultimate goal with this is to use it up in this project pan. That most definitely will happen, but it seems to be going very slow and steady for me. My usage number, by the way, does not include my reapplications. However, I am notoriously bad for reapplying my lipsticks. Generally speaking, I kind of create my look at the beginning of the day, and my makeup space is here upstairs. I work from home, but I work in an office which is downstairs, and I never come back upstairs to grab a lipstick. I never bring my lipsticks down with me, so I use whatever lip gloss or lip balm basically is at my desk throughout the day. So reapplications are not considered in that number. There may have been a handful of times that I reapplied this. Quite honestly, I probably only used it 11 times, sometimes on the cheeks and lips, sometimes on the cheeks, sometimes on the lips. Either way, I'm happy to see that that number was improved from last month, and considering that I wore makeup 19 times this month, 11 uses is pretty substantial. I will dig into this bullet once I've reached the plastic component, but that may not happen until my next update in this project pan as well. And then let's move on to the remaining lipsticks that are in this, or lip products that are in this project as well. The next one being my NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Praline. When I rolled this into the project, I knew I wouldn't be able to track it, so there will not be metrics for that on the screen. But this was my oldest lip gloss in my collection, so I wanted to prioritize it, and I'm really happy that I decided to put this into the project, because I guess I had way better progress on it than I had been able to see. With the NYX Butter Glosses, they're really difficult to see progress on. It always seems like they're never ending, but last update I was able to see a lot of visibility, and as you can see today, there is tons and tons of visibility happening through the tube. I ended up taking out the stopper actually just after last update, probably a week after my last update, so major progress has been had. I was hoping to have it empty for today's update, but it just isn't happening for me yet. There still is quite a lot in here. It's probably gonna take me a couple more weeks to complete this, but this has been the lip product that I'm reaching for on the daily at my desk and really enjoying it. The color is really beautiful and flattering without being too bold, even though it does look quite deep in the pot. It is a much more sheer kind of color when it's applied on the lips, and I've just been really liking it. I do have it on top of a lipstick and lip liner today, so you don't really see the full effect, but it's just a gorgeous, warm toned, easy to wear lip gloss, and it's perfect for this time of year. And we finally have my very first empty for this project pan. It is a small one, but I am taking it as a win regardless. It is just this little sample of the Mob Beauty lipstick. I had this shade, what was it called? M55. This is the packaging that it came in. It was just this single pan slid into this sleeve. And so when I received this last November, I knew I needed to use it sooner than later because it wasn't really air safe. And I used it all up, thank goodness. It took me way longer than I expected. I think it took me like 15 or 16 uses. Let me pull up my count. Yeah, 16 uses collectively to use this up. I used it 7 times in the month of February. And I'm happy that it is now used up because this is not my favorite type of color. It is a rich purple kind of tone, which was beautiful, but just not my personal preference. So happy to have used this up. On the note of samples, I am curious what your thoughts are on the idea of me considering a sample for my makeup empties towards my no buy. If you're not familiar, I'm doing a no buy where I'm trying to use up 23 items from my collection in advance of purchasing again. Now, should I consider a single sample as one of those 23 products? I don't really think so. I think maybe 3 samples could count as one empty, but let me know your thoughts on that. Regardless, I am so happy that this is done. I know it seems silly to kind of feel rewarded for finishing one sample, but I am very bad with just holding on to samples and never using them up. So I will be rolling another sample in its place at the end of today's video, so keep an eye out for that upcoming. And then lastly for lips, I am working on my Melt All Day Every Day Ultra Matte Lip Liner. This is the shade Cinder, which is a stunning salmony kind of coral tone. I really do enjoy this, and I've come to embrace this shade more than I think I originally liked it. However, it's not like an everyday nude kind of shade. It definitely does have a little bit more color, a little bit more warmth than what I am used to when it comes to panning lip liners. The only lip liners that I've ever panned in my panning history and my panning experience were much more neutral, natural tones. This one is a little bit more vibrant, but I am wearing it today underneath of a lipstick, and I do feel like I can transform this with lipstick and lip glosses in my collection. So I have been reaching for it a pretty significant amount, making sure that it is a part of my regular routine. My goal with this is to use up half of what I had initially started with, and I will share with you the markings of where I'm at now. I am nowhere near that goal of halfway to empty, but I anticipate this is going to be most definitely a long haul product, and I'm okay with that. I can take this through the summer with me. I can even take this into early fall with me. This shade, like I said, can be transformed with lipsticks, so I'm not worried about that. I'm actually very curious to see how long it will take me time-wise and usage-wise, like number of uses-wise. And so that's why I'm doing that with this project pan. I'm just genuinely so curious. I actually think it's moved just about as much as my last month, where I was really trying to put it to the test and multi-purpose it. This month I've only been using it as a lip liner, but I've still managed to make that progress. So this will most definitely be slow but steady, but I'm hoping to maintain the same amount of movement month to month, which is great. I think that will be great. It might take me forever to use up, but like I said, I'm not too worried about it. I'm not fussed at all about that, actually. It's more of a curious kind of thing, and I do want to ensure that it's getting used up as well. I'm really happy to be working on my Too Faced Hangover Primer because this is the oldest primer in my current makeup collection. I've had this for far too long, and this texture and this formulation is really suited to my skin at this time of year. It is very nourishing and moisturizing, and it feels really good on my skin. So I'm happy I've been reaching for it. My progress is most definitely slow but steady. I started all the way up here when I kicked off this project at the beginning of January, and now I'm down just to here. But progress is progress, and I foresee this actually being able to get used up within the first half of this year if I can maintain this amount of progress. I'm really hoping to be able to do that, and I really want to use this more frequently as these days are very cold and very dry. This is the optimal time of year to get this used up, so I am feeling definitely a sense of urgency with this one. But also I am enjoying it so much that it has almost become habitual to reach for it, which is great. It makes me feel so happy to be feeling that way about this particular product because it was overlooked in my collection for so long. So long. The other base type product that I'm focusing on is my beloved Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue. This one is in the shade Buttercream 03, and this one expires in July of this year. So it is absolutely urgent to me that I use this up before that expiration date. I want to ensure that I get to love on this product because it truly is something that I just find to be so flattering and so just perfecting on the skin without looking makeup-y or cakey. I'm wearing it today. It is my most worn base product in my collection because I just adore it. I've made some pretty good progress throughout this project pan, and it is, again, something that I think is going to take me right through till the middle parts of this year to actually use up, and I am a-okay with that because it's just something I truly, truly adore. I think when I get to having more of a tan and this shade doesn't really work for me, it'll be perfect to mix with my Milk Makeup bronzer. Just apply them both to the back of my hand, mix the two together, and that way I can get the most perfect shade. And I'm looking forward to getting this used up. As much as I'm going to miss it in my collection, it'll feel really good to have used this because that'll be my third Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue completed. I nearly forgot to talk about this product right here. This is my 10th and final focus product currently in this project pan. This is the Auric Smoke Reflect Duo in the shade Entice. I'm working on the cream portion of this particular item, so here in the bottom at the pot. This is something that I wanted to use 10 times in this project pan, and previously I had already used it 7 times in the month of January. So I knew it was gonna be no problem to reach that ultimate goal, and I have done so. I used it 3 more times this month. Loved every single time that I used it, whether I wore it as like an eyeliner, as an eyeshadow base. It is just a lovely, beautiful shade, beautiful product and formula. And I'm really happy that I've kicked off this year with 10 uses on this otherwise not oftentimes like used and reached for product in my collection. I'm really happy that I made it a priority here at the top of the year. And so I will be rolling this out in today's update. I will be reaching for it independently, I'm sure, in the month of March and ongoing because I really have fallen in love with this, but I'll be rolling it out and replacing it with something new. So let's chat about the new roll-ins. There will be 2 new roll-ins to this project today. So to replace the M55 sample, I am going to be working on another sample from my Danessa Myricks Vision Flush kind of sample pack here. I have had all 6 of these samples in my collection, in my inventory since fall of 2021, and I have not delved into them yet. I haven't tried this formula. I have no idea how I feel about this formulation. I've just been holding on to them. So it's time to start cracking into them. And I'm gonna start with the very first shade in here, the shade Bread and Butter, as my next focus because I need to get familiar with this. I'm so excited to try out this formula, so it seems ridiculous that I have not yet. So the new roll-in will be Bread and Butter, which is this one right here. I will remove this from the rest of the packaging. These actually do look quite large, quite deep, but I don't know if they're completely full or not. So it may take me quite some time to work my way through this, but of course I will track my uses and let you know in my next update where things are at with this one. And then to go alongside that, to replace the Auric Entice Duo, I will be rolling in a product that was in my last year's project pan. I have been waiting to work on this and to focus on this, but I've been wanting to do it alongside you. I've been wanting to have it as a focus product on my channel. It is my Essence Satin Touch blush in the shade Satin Love that I was working on for absolutely ages last year. This is all that's left of it because I did repress it in the month of February. I have not used it since I repressed it because I really wanted to track the number of uses that remained. But as you can see, there's really not that much product in here. It's very thin and it is hand pressed, so it may end up having a little bit of kick up, but I really tried my best to keep it nice and even and press it as firmly as possible. And I cannot wait to have this emptied. It may be something that I can actually roll out in my next update because there is so little remaining in here, and that is super exciting for me. So let's hope that this could be considered an empty when I come to update this project in the beginning parts of April. If not, it'll be ultra close. So if I'm able to use up my Essence Satin Touch blush in just 1 month, I think that next update I should not only have that rolling out, but 2 additional products. So I think my NYX Butter Gloss should be an empty by the middle of March. And I really am hoping and dreaming that my Cover FX Custom Enhancer drops will also be done for the end of March. This is going way longer than anticipated, so I don't know, it's a bit of a toss-up with that one, but everything else in this project is much more long haul, things that are going to take me a lot more time and effort, and so I'll be happy to see consistent rollouts happening in this project pan, but I never foresee this project pan being like 100% reset or even 50% reset in an update, but I'm just approaching project panning in a little bit of a slower kind of fashion. I'm using things in my collection whenever I do feel inclined to use other things because I want to enjoy the makeup that I have and not just hyper focus. So I am totally okay with panning at this pace. I hope that you enjoyed today's update. I hope that you're enjoying your project panning journey for this year if you are working on a focus project pan. But that, my friends, is everything for today's video. Thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.